Alright, hello, my name's Helen George, and I'm from Redlands, California. Alright, so, back to how I feel about things, so I can move that. Okay, so the topic's gonna be Satanism, New World Order, and, nightmare in my life, so just how I feel. It's like a bloodbath, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this stuff isn't really professional. I'm not a poet, I don't, stuff like, I'm not a writer, professional degree in education and stuff. But I mean, anyone with a normal education level should be able to have, normal speech. I never finished speech class with a lot, so, bear with me with this, stuff like that. I know I'm not a good speaker because this is not really, a lot of my stuff right now that I'm giving you guys, I don't know if I ever will get more professional with my videos, but I know that currently this is very, it's just like feelings, emotions, blah, blah, blah. It's not really, because I know I've seen a lot of the videos, they're, more about like helping, and it's more on the electrical aspects of it too, but it's just not professional. So, whatever. I'm not trained in this. I don't have an education in this, so what do you expect? It's a YouTube video. It's people making it. This is not like I finished school for this type of program, understanding this type of stuff, so whatever. You got, whatever. So anyways, these people like effing don't have a heart. You'd be like, oh, okay, we all have a heart, it's beating. The emotion is not necessarily in the heart, so that's kind of a, what do you call it? Now we're getting all like, it doesn't even make sense to be like, oh, the feeling emotion is in the heart, because technically it's in your brain. But it's kind of like a metaphor. And they say like people, supposed to be in the heart. Yeah, these people don't have a heart. Okay. If you cut the, I don't know if they even bleed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they really have blood going through. Are they robots? Are they bad aliens? Are they the devil? Are they demons? So, okay, like, I'm not gonna get all stupid with you like that. We all know, now I'm getting a little overboard here. I'm not anyways making plans of destroying them and all that stuff like that. I'm not encouraging that. I'm just saying, these type of people like this, what I'm saying? These are really, it's just, I can't explain it. Anyway, so what's it about feelings and heart, emotions, stuff like that. Anyway, so they've made it in the community to convince these people that they're normal, and they've already done that a very good job. Let's say about the heart, Satanism. I know I looked at some people's videos, and some people say that these are Luciferian cult or Satanism. I guess this is kind of my refute or criticism of things that I've read online. I guess a little bit. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, I know some people say that these people are like Satanists or something like. I was looking at stuff that some that they don't have religion. I don't agree with that at all. I think they probably, in order to gain community trust, you kind of have to be normal and fit in. Fitting in the society, you do have to be a Christian. Being an atheist or a different religion, that's not fitting in. And you'd be like, no, it's just about social and traditional customs, how you talk to people, and just going out and blah, 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 stuff like that. That's fitting in. No, that's definitely huge, the biggest part. I'm not anyway saying that this person of a different religion or an atheist can never fit in the society, but in order to be president, I'm not going to vote for someone that's not a Christian, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, they're certain, well, okay, now I'm getting all political. Obviously, that's different. That's politics. So they have, I'm not saying I won't vote for anyone of a different religion. I'm not saying that shit at all. I'm just saying, it's definitely a preference, for a lot of people. Well, I'm not going to go overboard with these social slander campaign. I just think you have to be, I do think they have to be Christians. And then again, the society is mostly Christian, but then again, a lot of people don't go. Stuff like that. People don't care if you go to church. That's not what they just care, that you're married. That's huge. The person that's done this to me is probably married. He's right, but then again, most people are married. I don't believe in those statistics that like 50% of all people are divorced. That's false. Those statistics are straight up false. Most people who get married will never be divorced. Okay, probably a good 70%, 80 percentile, you will stay married. Okay, in the first world. And we talk about third worlds. It's not all third worlds. Now third worlds are starting to get split up and all that. But I just think it depends which country we're talking about. It could be up to the 95 percentile in certain countries. I mean, it really just depends what country we're talking about here. But especially past civilization, like if you go like thousands of years ago and all that, pretty much you were stuck for life, you know. That's a totally different topic about marriage and all that. But the person doing this to me probably is married because that is part of fitting in. Being a single man at 50, that doesn't look good. That doesn't. How do I explain? I mean, unless you're a pope or what do you call nun, and this is some sort of religious obligation. Or if you have severe illness like mental retardation, someone like locked in facility, or if you're a criminal, blah blah blah. You know, people don't want to marry you. You don't have an opportunity even upon release, even when you get let off. Like you have to go find another criminal, or it's hard because the prison industrial complex is mostly men, so it'd be hard for them to date because now you have to find. Women are not criminals, and they're not. You know what I mean? So it would be hard for them to get married upon release. Oh yeah, it'd be very hard. I mean, it depends. If it was like a drug addict, yeah, he could probably find someone because a lot of people, they don't care sometimes. But for other stuff, other types of crimes, I would assume it would be hard for them to find a mate. It would be really hard. I don't know. I mean, it depends what you got in for. And what your son, how the situation, it just depends. Anyways, what was I gonna say about, part of fitting in, marriage is a part of fitting into social customs. No, I mean, people get married for themselves. Nobody's doing it to fit in with the rest of them. People just want it. It's not a need, it's a desire. It's part of, emotional, psychological. You need a friend, stuff like this, kind of on that level. Family. Parent raise a child for, up until they're about a teenager, from they're a kid. You don't really need your parent past the teenage years. You could probably take care of yourself, starting from when you're around 13 or 14. Mentally, they're able to get a job, you know what I mean? But by law, because the education, all that, and how our society, the money, and they expect you to have a lot of money when you get older, so, they require the education. So they force you to stay with your parents until you're 18. But you could take care of yourself as a teenager. So, I mean, it's no necessity really for your parents. It's not really necessary. It is for this first world technological to give you advice and structure and mainly to pay for you while you're being educated and all that stuff like that. That's really the main reason because you don't really need your parents past teenage years. You don't need them. At least on a physical level, not really. But in this culture, yes. In first world, because you can't get a job till you're 16. So, yeah. Due to the way the laws are set up. I'm just trying to go technical. A 13-year-old could get a job, you know what I mean? They could take care of themselves if they really had to, but our society does not allow it, So, that's just something, that is the truth, and I know people, I'm not in any ways encouraging it. I don't think that's healthy, I don't think it's morally correct, but it's technically possible. Anyways, so part of fitting in is being married. It is a part of societal custom to you. The person doing this to me who did my slander campaign is probably married. And it's huge, high probability. That's part of fitting in the culture of society. Because if you're not married, it looks like you have a sexually transmitted disease. Okay? People, or you're a lesbian or something. People don't think, they think you don't have a good personality. People don't think oh, okay, you're single just because you want to be single. People think something's wrong with you if you're single. It is somewhat, there's some people that do it for religious purposes, don't get me wrong, there are, but some sort of illness, maybe you have cancer, something, they think something's wrong with you. And it is actually true. A lot of people that are not married, something is wrong with them because a lot of people that are not married are either divorced or have an out-of-wedlock baby. So it's kind of, it is kind of a prediction that something's going wrong in your life. It is. Like I said, there are people who want to be celibate, don't get me wrong, but a lot of things, something went wrong. So anyway, the person doing this to me, fits in, is probably married. Being married does not mean you're a heart, you have a heart. It doesn't mean that you're a good person, anything like that. It's just again societal expectation. It's just tradition. It doesn't mean anything. But it doesn't even mean you're happy. You know what I mean? Because marriage does not create happiness. There are people that So anyways, what was I saying? People doing this to me. Oh yeah, back to it's not an issue of them having a different religion. These people are probably not atheists because most people are not atheists and stuff like that in general. So you're not fitting in. You know what I mean? If you're not married, if stuff like that's not fitting. If you don't have kids, it's not fitting. It doesn't. You don't have a religion. You don't celebrate Christmas. Like that's not fitting in. You know what I'm saying? So this person more than likely has some sort of, religious high probability, high proportionality here. Now, they may not be a church person. They may not go to church every Sunday. They don't go, on a regular. That's possible because a lot of people don't. But you can't, even if they did, it doesn't matter if they go on regular, if they don't. I was looking up stuff about like New World Order, Illuminati, because you see a lot of these people being silent, they believe not New World Order, Illuminati, all that stuff. I don't know about I'm not convinced with the whole Illuminati thing. I looked it up. I'm not really convinced about it. Again, back to conspiracy theory. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, by the way. I'm not really big into conspiracy theories or anything like that. I'm not going to spend time telling you I believe in aliens, because I don't believe in aliens. I think it's possible. I think anything's possible. I'm not going to say there's not aliens because we haven't proven there's no aliens and that they haven't gone all over all the different planets and all that. They haven't proven that. So I'm not going to say it does not. But like from a legal perspective, if you cannot prove something exists, then it does not exist. So you cannot. You have a right to say there's no aliens. Like if I want to say there's no aliens, technically, like from a dictionary kind of world, the governmental perspective, that's the correct term. That's correct speech. That's correct for me to say. It's also correct to say I don't know. If I say I don't know, I got a right to say that too. To say there is aliens, that's totally wrong because you can't prove it. I mean, unless you're an eyewitness and somehow, you'd be like, oh, I had an alien abduction. Somebody came from another planet and they took my body to another world and then I came back to Earth. Or in my head, I had a dream and I saw an alien. Or that stuff is just mumbo jumbo. Like, who's gonna believe you? That's just something. That's gonna be a symptom of mental disorder. So I don't want to get into that topic of creepy. I don't have beliefs like that. So, I'm not here to I know they have on History Channel. They have something on aliens and they have a TV show on it, or some people that are claiming it or whatever. Like I said. That's their own, they created some stuff I'm not even going to get into. I can't explain that because that's something I don't want. I don't want to get into that topic. That's just, I'm not even well educated in that topic. The point is, okay, so, I don't know, these people, what's this with the mutilation and the blood and the flow? They don't care, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I was in a wheelchair, they don't care. If I was gonna die tomorrow, they don't care if you commit suicide, but hey, with suicide, they'll be like, it's your fault. Because, why would you feel guilty if someone commits suicide, though? Because you think about it, you'll be like, oh, okay, they're gonna go to hell. There's nowhere in the Bible that says don't commit suicide. There's nowhere. It just says don't murder. Murder means taking the life of another human being. It doesn't say anything about yourself. The Bible's not like, okay, let's be real here. It's very generalized and it has the big points, you know what I'm saying? But there are definitely some smaller points to where it's not, in my opinion, it's not specified all that detail like that. And so, obviously it's not intelligent to commit suicide. Whatever. I'm not here to explain my religious interpretation and all that stuff like that. There are people out there, they'll be like, what I'm saying is wrong, and that our Bible is more, that it has the answer to everything and it's perfect. because, you know, it's God's word and all this stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with the Bible and everything in it is right. And, you know, there's some people, they believe like that, and I don't want to get into that topic. I'm not here to say that it's wrong. I never said it was wrong. I just said I don't feel it's explained in detail, exactly, you know, specified. I said it was generalized and it has major points. I said that, but you know, most important things you need to know, it's in there. But it may, you know, there is interpretation. You know, there's a point where it's going to start getting interpretation. And I don't want to get into that topic of my opinions and stuff. But I don't want to get into the topic of suicide a lot. Maybe I'll do a video on that eventually in the near future. I don't know. But what did I say? They don't care. They don't care if you die. So, of course, if you did commit suicide, they think you're stupid. They don't think anything. They'll be like, oh, okay, you're going to hell, or you're a bad person, or, you know, they'll think of you as an idiot. They're going to be like, no one can make you kill yourself. You can only kill yourself. You know, even if you were a victim to rape or whatever, they'll be like, you did it to yourself. Of course, they won't say that, you know what I mean? Because they can prove you were a victim. No, nobody would go up to your face. Some people could if they don't like you, or you have a criminal record or something, or bad history or whatever. But, like, if you were a prostitute who got raped or something, like, who's going to feel sorry for you? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm not saying nobody will feel sorry for you. I'm just saying, you know, I don't want to get to that topic. Let's just, you know, the thing about this, of course, if we try to say that, you know, that these people doing the bullying or slander or gang stalking or harassment or intimidation tactics, blah, 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 stuff like that, if we're going to be like, we should blame them for all the suicides, you know, like, I mean, most people who are bullied don't commit suicide, you know what I mean, so we can't go over and be like, these people create suicide, or that they create homicide, you know, all that stuff like that, you can't, you know, and stuff like that, so I'm not here to try to blame them for, you know, any actions that a human takes, because that is ultimately your choice and all that stuff like that, but, you know, they're definitely helping motivate the individual to think that way. Okay, but, you know, I'm not here encouraging you or anything, because, you know, like I said, when you die, people think of you as an idiot. You know, and you'd be like, well, what if it was your family or something, your friend who committed suicide, you know. Some people, they feel sorry. Not everybody feels sorry for them. You know, it depends who you're talking to now. Of course, people won't go up to you and be like, you're an idiot. But, there definitely are people that think that, you know what I'm saying? So, no one's gonna feel sorry for you, you know what I'm saying? So, even if you die, like, it doesn't matter if you commit suicide today, right now, or if you die in old age, 100 or whatever, it doesn't matter, because once you're a gang stalking target, your legacy of the world, your memory to, I mean, unless you established some sort of meaningful relationship, I don't know the severity of different people's, you know, relationship, if it gets affected or not. Example, if you get married, or you have kids, or whatever. You know, if you have a healthy relationship, healthy friends, maybe there'll be some sort of nice memory of you. But, you know, yeah, there's a lot of people, their memory, or their, what, you know, it's like when you die, they have all these bad things to say about you. It's kind of one of those things, and I don't know, it's for life, right? Gang stalking is for life. What was I gonna say? It's just, I mean, these people, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't care if you had a disease, you're going to die in a year or two. They don't care. They would do this regardless. They don't care if you have pre-existing health conditions. They don't care. Your situation. You know, I'm sure most people that get tagged don't really have a hard situation. Their life is rather similar to everyone else. So the thing really, they don't care. Earthquake, natural disaster, whatever, anything that happened in your life, they don't care. They don't care about what you say. What I say does not matter. What I say does not matter to the world. Everything, like me as a being, like it doesn't matter, because they are literally talking crap behind my back. Okay, and then disacknowledging it to my face, meaning they don't tell me to my face we talk about you. But then they're doing it, so, like, they don't care, right? That's about, like, New World Order, I already said Illuminati. I don't really believe in that stuff, Illuminati, too much, or at least I haven't seen any proof of it. This is about New World Order, I think New World Order, something like the Antichrist. The whole world is going to be ruled over by like one government or something like that. Like one day the whole world is going to be communist, and we're going to have one leader to rule the world. It's not going to be a president. I don't know if it was a dictator or if they got voted. I don't know, but like it's going to be like all one country. Like all the land is going to be like one land or something like that. And like we're all gonna, and that's going to be like the Antichrist, and that's when God's going to come around. This is a new world order. I don't know if that's true or false, but some people have this weird speculation about the end of time, and that's what's going to end up happening. We don't know. I don't think life is going to end. I don't think Earth is going to end in my lifetime. I don't. I don't think the world is really that bad. I mean, whatever. I don't really care, when that time comes or whatever. It's probably not coming in my time, so it doesn't really matter. What was I going to say was really important? I don't know. It's just like they don't care. They don't. If I was a dwarf, they'd probably be doing this to me. If I had some sort of visible disability, they'd still be doing this to me. If someone, did something, some sort of mutilating my body, they would still do this type of harassment to me even after. Like they don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to say. Like they don't care about your circumstance. Now with my situation, they may just see it, they don't see it as a real health problem or disability. They don't see it as anything. They just see it like a lazy bum or someone who's never amounted to anything in life, just kind of situation and all that, or, whatever. Even as young as I see myself, I'm like, okay, I haven't lived half my life, you know what I'm saying? Like, even as young as I see myself, in their eyes, it's like, you're an adult and you should be held accountable for whatever you've done, regardless of your age and all stuff like that. So their perspective is like that. Again, I'm not in any way saying I've ever had deep conversations with my abusers in terms of the people doing the slander mobbing, gaining community cooperate. I haven't really had real discussions with any of them. Like I said, they don't even go up to you and warn you or anything like that. So I'm not here to say that they've told me this directly or anything. This is kind of my interpretation of what's going on here. Since nobody's really giving me a real answer, like nobody, what am I supposed to think when all these people are doing this? Like what thoughts are supposed to go in my head? I'm not in any way saying that I should just think bad thoughts. Obviously, I only have negative memories and stuff, and that's not healthy at all, and I'm not recommending anyone to do that, but it's like, isn't it somewhat of a natural reaction? Maybe I do go overboard with, the, feelings of what they've done to me and all that stuff like that, but, that's the thing, they don't even acknowledge what I'm going through as feelings. They acknowledge it as mental illness. Like, that's the other thing, they like to throw the mental illness card with me, which like kind of is because I already have the diagnosis for real, and so they like to, as a way to discredit me, right? For me it's kind of easy to discredit in that it's just, I'm not any, I know this could happen to anyone, but at the same time, I feel like if there ever was a person to do this to, who you can easily get away with, it would have been me, because it's just like the amount of negative circumstances that I already had to begin with. It would just, and I know people don't want to look at it from that perspective. They want to look at it as this could have happened to a billionaire, like they could have their whole life. You live in a rich country, like who's gonna feel sorry for you, blah, blah, blah. Like you're in a rich country, you have all these resources, blah, blah. There's still levels of resources and stuff that you get, you know what I mean? And, it depends on the severity of your condition, whether resources are going to be helpful or not, or whatever. And I'm not saying money solves all your problems or fixes it, but it can sometimes, may or may not. It may or may not help. It just depends. I very much believe that this was a lot easier to do on me. And I know nobody wants to look at it from that perspective. They just want to look at it as, it happened to anyone, anywhere. And I'm not disacknowledging that. I'm not in any way saying you're lying if you say that this could never happen to the world's richest person. I'm not in any way saying that. But, in America, okay, in this rich country that I live in a first world, I had more problems to begin with than most people living in this country. Even without the gang stalking, I had more problems to begin with. And, to disacknowledge that, and this community, they don't care who or they did this to. They don't care what your situation, like I said, it doesn't matter what your situation was. If you were homeless or an illegal immigrant or you're in the world's poorest country, I'm sure they do this there too. They don't care about your given circumstance. I'm not in any way saying that. And you could be like, well, at least they're aiming for rich people. At least they're aiming for people in richer countries. And, they do this anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your money. They do it anywhere. This isn't like, oh, okay, we'll aim for the rich person, but we'll never touch the poor person. No, if they were in these extreme third world poverty stuff, they would be doing it in those countries as well. So I'm not in any way saying, that they have limits to cruelty where they're like, oh, okay, I'll be mean to the rich person, but I won't be mean to the poor person. No, they are not like that. They will still harass the poor person. Even if you lived in the world's poorest country, they would still harass that poor person. They would do it. That's what I'm trying to highlight, is that their consciousness, it's not like they have some sort of limitation to what your situation is. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you had no arms and no legs, they can still do it to you. You know what I'm saying? That's how they don't care. This is what I'm trying to highlight, is they don't care. They don't care. Now, I do think, to that extremity, I don't think they would aim for someone like a dwarf or something. I think they do have limits. Now, not that I know or heard of, but they'd be like maybe people that are extremely disabled, they would never get into trouble like that in the first place. They would never, create a problem to where someone would think to do something like that. I think, maybe they do have limits. I don't know. I don't know, because it didn't really matter. Maybe in their eyes, the only real disability is some sort of real physical one, like extreme, some sort of beyond extremity. They don't really care about mental health related disorders. So they know medicines can fix it. Not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, it can help reduce symptoms to where you can take care of yourself. So maybe they don't think mental illness is like a real problem. So a real problem to them might be, like I mentioned before, no arms, no legs, or blind or dwarf. So they want it, or mental retardation, like on a moderate level. Not a mild, but like a moderate. If you were mildly mental retarded, they probably would do this to you. But I don't think that would be enough. It would have to be on like a moderate mental retardation level. And moderate is pretty bad. That's like where they can't get a job. So the mild retardation, maybe not. I'm not sure. Like, it depends. But so I guess the point is, like, it had to be real bad before, really, really, really bad disability before they would not do it to anyone. So maybe they do have a limit. I don't know, and I can't prove any of this. That doesn't matter, because I don't fall into a lot of those categories anyway, so what does it really matter? It's still wrong to do it to a healthy person. It's still wrong to do it to a rich person. It's still wrong. It doesn't make it right just because you aim for someone that had a normal life or an advantage to life. It doesn't make it right, So, it's still wrong. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is not right, you know what I'm saying? So, the situation is not opinion. The situation is not perspective. This is not me looking at life the wrong way. I'm looking at it from, the story of the victim, the life, stuff like that. But, I'm looking at this is the right perspective. This is, I don't know how you mean, like, there's another perspective to this. There's no other perspective other than what the criminals support, or what the community, who are supporting the harassment support, I don't know, it's just amazing. I don't know, mean, is this what they wanted? To make me feel all these emotions in my head? You're like, no, those are your emotions from your mental disorder. Because they use the mental disorder, right, to discredit me for everything. That's number one. For me, because I already have a pre-existing condition, that's what's used to discredit. These are not your emotions. You know, you were already feeling bad before, so you can't blame us for your emotions, all the feelings and stuff that you feel. Oh, no, that's not us. That's you. That's because you already had the disease. So we can't, you know, so then they just ignore whatever, because nobody even cares. Even if I had a mental disorder, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So it would be better if I didn't have a mental disorder, because then I'd be like able to, it would just be better. But, you know, they don't care. So, yeah, that's what's happening to me, and, you know. Alrighty, so, I wear my turban. My turban. I don't know if anyone likes it or not. I probably don't like it. What the heck is that? It looks weird. I guess it's not even appropriate. I don't know. It's not. Anyways, that's my view on life.